Good morning and assalamu alaikum. You are tuned into Inspire FM 105.1 FM. It's Friday, 13th of September, and the time has now just gone 10 o'clock. Welcome to Mother's Planet, a show where there is always something to talk about in a productive and beneficial way. I'm your host, Neelum, and today I will be talking to you about taking time out for ourselves. Now, this topic is quite dear to my heart as my youngest has now started school, and it's the first time in 19 years where I don't actually have a child at home. And I don't have a baby that I need to come back to, or another child at home while the youngest has just started school. So it's quite a strange experience, an emotional one, a peaceful one, but also I have a lot of thinking space. So what I have found with her being at school for this week since Monday, it's not been very productive. So I'm hoping that I can take some note and advice from myself this morning in some of the tips that I share this morning and make them part of my life as well. I would love to hear from you listeners this morning. Is anyone in the same boat as myself? Have you just dropped your youngest off to school, or maybe just your first, and you don't have any children at home and now don't know what to do to make the most of your day? I would love to hear from you. I would also love to hear that I'm not the only one that's feeling like my week's not been very productive. So listeners, we are live on air, reaching through the airwaves at Inspire FM 105.1 FM. We are reaching our listeners in Luton and surrounding areas. You can also catch the show on TuneIn via the Inspire FM webpage. You can listen to the show on your smartphones via the Inspire FM app. And you can also, inshallah, connect to the show via the Inspire FM Facebook page, where the audio of the show is being played. So you must like the show and also can leave any comments around today's topic. As always, I am taking in WhatsApp and text messages on the studio number 07779 481 822. Now, listeners, I wanted to start the show off. So there's plenty of ways, to connect to the show, but I wanted to kick the show off with first talking about the crazy weather. Now, I'm looking out my window right now and the sun is beaming, but it's a tad cold. I'm not sure if it's me just getting old, but I did have the heating on a couple of days ago because I just couldn't cope with the heat. Cold, sorry. I felt like it was the temperature had just suddenly dropped. So yeah, am I the only one, or are you all feeling the cold as well? Is it as cold for you guys? Have you had to resort to turning the heating on? Please do message in and let me know I'm not the only one, and it's not me getting old. It's just because it really is cold. Yeah, so where has the sunshine gone? We had the beautiful summer. As I mentioned last week, I was away. We had, alhamdulillah, really good weather while we were away, and we've come back, and it's almost like autumn's come a bit too early. But it's not just cold. We've had hailing stones, and it's been really bizarre. I laughed with my neighbour a couple of days ago, saying that I really don't know where this weather's going, and I think any moment we could have snow. And then I went inside, put the kettle on, and it began to hail, and it hailed so badly that you could see the little pellets, and it had just sort of landed itself on my grass in my garden, and it looked like snow. So I thought, wow, I should be careful about what I wish for, because anything can happen at any time. So it has been quite an interesting weather, and it shows that anything can happen at any moment. We've got sunshine, we've had rain, we've had hail, we could possibly even have snow. So we don't really know what season to prepare for, but it means that you can't really quite get rid of everything in your wardrobe. I think we need to have all seasons out at the moment, all our jumpers and our summer clothes. Naturally, the poor weather brings bad drivers. I have found that since going back to school, there is a lot of traffic on the road, and there is a really bad drivers as well. There's a lot of bad drivers on the road as well, and it's a combo I don't like. I'm finding that people are all eager to get to where they need to get to, or all in a rush, and they're sort of forgetting the basic driving skills about stopping and giving way, and not expecting people to give way. So yes, I think you can sense, listeners, that I've not had a great week with drivers on the road. Yeah, I think people need to just remember that we're all on a journey. We're all going to a place and a destination, and it would be nice if people could just be nice on the road when you're driving. It just makes that day a little bit easier. It's bizarre, really, because the roadworks have seemed to ease off, and there isn't many roadworks or things going on my side of town, and so I just think there's just a lot going on. I think because the colleges and schools and high schools and everyone's back in full form, I've forgotten what traffic and busyness feels like, because towards the end of summer, you've got children that have finished exams, colleges that have finished exams. So the number of people out on the roads has eased off. So I think I got used to that silence a little bit. But yes, whilst in this traffic, in the midst of it all, I've spent most of my time in the car contemplating how I can change the roads and routes in Luton and calculate ways to try and ease the traffic. So yeah, I really have too much time on my hands. And that's why I'm hoping in today's show I can give myself some ideas of what to do with this time, rather than rerouting or redigging the whole of Luton. So, listeners, I wanted to share some tips for us mums and even the working mums to prioritize our own well-being, recharge ourselves, and effectively, inshallah, make the most of our time. Because, you know, everyone kept saying to me, oh, you've got a long day. She's my daughter's in school for over 6 hours, and I've got plenty of time. But I actually cannot believe how fast the time goes. It just goes so fast, and 6 hours doesn't feel like it's enough to do half the things that I want to do. So yeah, I clearly need to manage my time better, because 6 hours is actually a lot of time. And if it's managed well, you can get a lot done in a productive way. So I'm hoping, inshallah, we can learn from my show this morning, and I can learn from my show as well. So the first point I wanted to share with you is creating a morning ritual. Now, this is something that I've probably started since Monday. As the winter months kick in, the time for Salah, for Fajr Salah, is actually getting closer to the earlier hours of the morning, so around 5-6 o'clock. And so we generally wake up on a working day around that time. So what I have decided to do now is stay up after Fajr, and because it's earlier than the rest of the household is up, and it gives me that time to have a peaceful morning. So I often use this time to jot down things that maybe I need to get through for the day. It's like a things to do list, or things that I need to remember to give to the children, and things that I need to pass on to the children. Also doing simple stretches, and even exercising. And exercising is really good, because you're obviously kickstarting the adrenaline that's needed for the day ahead, so recharging yourself. But it's also a good time to just take that time out and have a nice cuppa and enjoy some breakfast, a meal that I'm sure many mums often neglect because we don't have time. It's literally flick the kettle on and then go and get so and so out of bed and get them fed, dressed, washed, and the kettle's cooled down, and then it's flick on again. And you've probably boiled that kettle about 5 times in the day and actually not managed to make that cup of tea or coffee. So it's important that getting up that little bit earlier, you are using that time on yourself. And as I said, it could be through exercise, it could be stretches, it could be just actually having breakfast. One that I really like is the gratitude practice. I really like this because it's a good way to start your day off. it sets the mood really nicely. So the gratitude practice is when we remind ourselves of the blessings we have, and it says here we should try and jot down 3 things that we are grateful for each day. And this simple habit can help set a positive tone for the day. And I think this is really good, actually, because sometimes we can wake up, as they say, the expression says, on the wrong side of bed, where you are just, full of anger, full of anxiety, full of fear, full of worry. And I've had some of those emotions this week with my youngest being at school and not knowing how she's going to wake up and what her mood's going to be like. It's quite draining as a mum because you want to hear them out and you want to really understand their emotions, but you also need them to sort of get over it and get on with getting ready and being part of the day. So it's quite difficult. I've sort of woke up a little bit on edge, not knowing how she's going to wake up and what mood she's going to wake up in. But having that time out and taking this gratitude practice of the good things that are going for my day and things that are happening in our day sets the mood off a bit nicely. It's a good reminder for us to remind us about what we do have, the blessings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us. And it's a good reminder for us to note these things and jot them down and be thankful for them. The next one is incorporate exercise. Now, I did mention at the beginning, getting up a bit earlier, having that time to yourself, maybe incorporating some short and simple workouts. It's really important that we opt for short bursts of exercise, like a 10-minute walk. This could be around the block. If you have a treadmill at home, it could be just walking on the treadmill. Yoga, and Pilates, these are really good stretches and really good for the mind and for the body. It's, especially as you get older, you need to sort of click those joints into place. So it's really important that we, don't feel like we need to be running on the treadmill like mad or, doing high cardio workouts. There is that time that our body just needs simple stretches, and yoga and Pilates are really good for this. Having said that, a good quick HIIT workout is quite good as well. Increasing the adrenaline in our body. And doing a workout like this will keep you motivated, especially if you keep them short. I've gone through YouTube so many times on different social media platforms and looked at different types of exercises, and I used to get so bogged down with the 45-minute workout. Where am I going to find 45 minutes to just work out, and then have to then sort myself out afterwards, have a shower, get dressed, eat, and I've lost 3 hours just doing that. So if you look, you can actually find quick workouts that only take 20 minutes, and it's a warm up and a cool down included in these workouts often. So you don't have to do either of those after the huge workout. And there's so much out there, and these can all be done from the comfort of your home. You don't have to sign up to a gym. You can do if you, feel that that's going to keep you more motivated. Sign up to a gym. You've got a membership, you've got to go, you've got to do something with this membership. It depends on how it works for you. I do find that if I had a gym membership, I'm not sure it would motivate me as much, or maybe I'd want to make too much use of my money and spend more of my time at the gym and less doing the things that I wanted to do around the house or for myself otherwise. So I feel that doing short burst exercises from the comfort of your own home, you can even do if you are working from home in a break, or after the school run, you can just take that time out, and it's much more easier to do. Get moving with the kids, get your children to be active too. It's really important that we instill this in them from a young age. It's so that it's something that's going to be part of their lives. They're not going to hit in their 20s or 30s and then realize that, oh wow, we've not been very active, now I need to do something. If we instill activity into their lives a lot earlier, It's something that they can embrace much sooner in their life, or just make it part of their life. It's not even something that they have to embrace or incorporate. It's just it's a thing that they do. So and this could be simple things like get them moving, whether it's dancing, put on some music, have a little dance around with them, whether it's going out for a walk, instead of taking the car to somewhere, maybe saying let's just try and walk and see how we get on. It could be playing outdoor games, going to the local park, playing games outside. Something that they really enjoy as well. I know I've got huge cricket fans, and I always find that cricket's quite a sedentary sport. It doesn't really do anything for me. I'm so sorry to all the cricket fans out there, but yeah, it's quite good if you're a fielder, because I guess you're running around getting the ball, but it can be quite boring for the other players. So something like even football, kicking a ball around, playing pass, or dribbling a ball around different cones, having this set up in the park and doing it as a family. Not only are you getting or encouraging the children to get active, but you are also spending some quality time as a family. So it's really nice, something to do maybe on a weekend, on a Saturday morning. Let's all get up and let's just go to the park and let's just have a run round in the park, just get a bit of fresh air in them all, and get them used to the weather. Don't let them turn miserable like myself, where when the weather changes, it's like, oh, I can't do anything. Get them used to the rain, get them to run around in the rain and appreciate the different weather changes, because we live in the UK and the weather is so unpredictable that we've just got to embrace it and raise our children to be adaptable. I think that's the word I'm looking for, be adaptable in the environment that they live in. So, if it's raining, it doesn't matter. We've got hoods on, brollies with us. Let's get out there and get on with life, really, and not make it an obstacle. The next thing is practice mindful breathing. Now, I'm finding myself doing a lot of this actually. Breathing exercises. Especially with the busy roads and driving around in Luton, my patience is running quite low. And so that I just remind myself that I need to some things are just out of our control. You can leave the house as early as possible just to try and avoid the traffic. If you hit traffic, it's just the way things are. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing your anger or emotions are going to do to change that. So I've learnt that the hard way. And so there's no point in building that hostile environment in the car, and making my children feel anxious that they're going to be late. So I have changed things around. I do find myself taking some breathing exercises, and really just taking that deep breath and saying, right, okay, refocus and recharge your energy, and be positive, because we've got little ones in the car, and if they're anxious, that mum's anxious, then it just doesn't make their day start on a good note. So yeah, I've changed things around. I've taken that time out, and I do find that doing that has set the mood a bit better in the car. Kids generally on the way to school are quiet in the car, so we just talk about our day, what they would like to do, what they're hoping to achieve, what they're looking forward to, what's their favorite part of the day. And before you know it, the traffic's not even an issue. I get through the traffic, and alhamdulillah, we get to school, and it's nice. So have that moment. Also, mindful moments. Now, this is a really important one. Be present during your daily activities. And this is for us mums, because when the kids are around, we're constantly trying to listen to them, try and hear the conversations, hear their points, hear their concerns, and multitask at the same time, that we often are listening to them, and if we're engaged in an activity, we're not giving it our 100%. So even I find that when the kids aren't here, I sort of fall into deep thought, and I'm thinking about something, and I'm doing another thing, but I'm thinking about something else, and before you know it, I've not given what I'm doing, my 100%. And so the thing that I'm guilty of here is often when it's eating. When I'm having my meals, I'm rushing them. I'm not present in my meals. I'm just getting on with it. Sometimes I eat and I don't even know I've eaten, so I'm still hungry, or I'm eating and I'm thinking so deeply about something else. I'm eating excessively. So stop. Take that time out, be aware of your surroundings and sensations and things in front of you, the smells, and take that time out to make your meals nice and enjoy them. You know, flick through a magazine while you're eating, maybe, you know, or look at the colors of, make your food colorful, more appealing, but, you know, really try and be present in that moment. And I think that's probably a hard thing to do, but when you don't have the background noise around you with all the kids screaming, it's something that maybe we can do, especially in those moments. And I think when we do have the silence, don't go into deep thought, you know, be present in whatever it is that you're doing, whether it's preparing food, whether it's you know, doing your work, whatever you're doing, just be mindful of the moment. The next one is establish boundaries. I think this is something that my husband could actually take note from, and I'm not sure if he's tuned in and he's listening, but it's learning to say no. And this is a really hard concept. And I think when you it's not becoming like a people pleaser, but when you just want people to ease someone's troubles or just make things easy for someone, or if you put yourself in their situation and you think, if I reached out to somebody and somebody turned around and said no, how would I feel? So you end up taking on too much. It's often really hard not to take on these extra commitments, but they can overwhelm your schedule. So it's really important that you set boundaries, you know, at work, even, you know, when you're at work, I'll take on that task. I'll do that. Leave that with me. You have to remember you've got your own schedule to do, your own tasks to do. So taking on another person's task is only going to hinder your own schedule and tasks. So, you know, be mindful and be kind to yourself. You know, don't feel like you need to say yes all the time and you need to be helpful all the time. You know, what can happen is you could be just saying yes the whole time and you're actually finding yourself getting bogged down with things. And all of this can be avoided if you just, you know, learn to say no. And I think it's, you know, even if it comes to where someone's saying, I don't know how this works, can you help me out? I know I find it hard to say no. And I think, I don't know how to work it, but maybe we can work around how to do it together. And I think it's really detrimental to ourselves, because if you don't know, you're going to go and work out how to know and how to find out and then go back and help. And so you're just taking on extra things and you're bogging yourself down. So it's really important to avoid that. The next one is tech boundaries, setting limits on screen time, especially with emails and social media. You know, we need to learn to put our phone down and have that time away from the phone and engage in the world around us. You know, admire the beauty of the garden, the flowers, go out, take a bit of time out in the garden. I'm not green fingered at all, but I like to think that I am. I like to think that I can prune my flowers. You know, I was talking to my neighbor who is now getting her pots ready for the winter flowers, and I said to her, wow, I didn't even know such existed. So I'm now, you know, looking it up wherever I can and finding out what flowers survive better in the winter, when's the best time to put them in the pots and get those pots ready. So, you know, it's always been around spring when I'm making my flowers grow in the garden, because I think for summer I want my garden to look nice, but we do have winter flowers. So do that, you know, go out and get green fingered a little bit and, you know, engage in nature without the device around us. Consider device free hours. So, you know, right, for the next 4 hours, I'm not going to check my phone, not be on my phone. I'm just going to do this and commit yourself to that. What I did like, actually, I saw somewhere where it suggested that you have a device-free room in your home. So create a room in the home where you're not allowed to have your device. And it's a forced break away from the tech world and actually live in the real world with the family. Alhamdulillah, I have enforced it in my children. When they come back from school, they have to put their phones away. They can't be on their phones, and they need to be participating in the family. Listeners, we are now actually heading over to a short commercial break. I hope you've been taking down some good notes this morning, and what I have shared with you has been of benefit. But for now, go refill your hot brew and join me after a short commercial break. Assalamu alaikum.
This program will continue after the break. Continue listening to Inspire FM. Inspire FM.
Inspire 105.1 FM.
A large and elegant wedding and events venue in the heart of Luton, catering for up to 1,200 guests, with a 5-star food hygiene rating, plenty of parking, bridal suite, family rooms and prayer facilities. Crescent Hall's the perfect venue for your wedding, events, parties and conferences. We have some great offers for summer. Contact us to find out more. Call 01582 723386. Email bookings@crescenthall.co.uk or search for us online and social media. Crescent Hall, Luton. Conditions apply.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم: من يحرم الرفق يحرم الخير. That whoever is deprived of gentleness is deprived of good.
Landlords, let us take away the hassle of letting your property. Our comprehensive services include tenant vetting, rent collection and service charges, maintenance and repairs. Ideal Properties has 2 branches and have been established over 20 years and have gained a wealth of knowledge and experience.
If you are thinking of selling or letting your property, then speak to a member of our knowledgeable team about a free no-obligation market appraisal.
We can also offer guaranteed rental income.
Contact us on either Luton 721110 or 696050. Ideal Properties. Service with a smile, whatever your needs.
सूरज की किरणों से चमके सारा जहां, इंस्पायर एफएम की लहरों से महके सारा समा, रहे आपके साथ यहां और वहां, शेयर रेडियो इंस्पायर एफएम है।
AK Windows South Limited, manufacturers and installers of high-quality UPVC windows and doors, bifold doors, composite doors, conservatories, porches, skypods, fascias, guttering, and much, much more. We specialize in double glazing and triple glazing using the best German profile. If you want quality at affordable prices, AK Windows is the place to go. If your house needs a facelift, you know who to trust. For a free quote, call AK Windows today on 01582 483 777 or visit us at Unit 10E, Britannia Estate, Leagrave Road, Luton.
ما في أنفسكم أو تخفوه يحاسبكم به الله.
Ali is one of those children who, with your assistance, has the honour of being a Hafiz. And that too from only £29 per month. Help UKIM by sponsoring a Hafiz and get rewarded by up to 70 times blessings. For donations, call now or visit ukim.org.
आज भी हम दीन के मामलों में लाइल्मी की वजह से बहुत सारी गलतफहमियों में मुब्तला हैं और इल्म हासिल करना हम पर फर्ज है। हमारे इल्म में इजाफा करने के लिए मैं पेश करती हूँ प्रोग्राम दीन और दुनिया, हर मंगल की सुबह 11 से 12 बजे तक।
From the studios of Inspire FM, the time is now 10:30.
Good morning and assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to Mother's Planet. It's Friday, 13th of September, and the time has now just gone 10:30. I'm Neelum, and this morning I have been talking about taking time out for ourselves. I hope that you have your hot brew with you and that you can sit back and enjoy the rest of the show because it is all about taking time out for ourselves. Something that often as mums and working mums, we just don't do enough of. And I found this week, having had my youngest start school, I've come home and I've spent the couple of hours trying to work out what to do with my life. And then I'm on a rat race because I've only got a few hours and then it's pickup time. So I feel like I've had a really unproductive week. But Alhamdulillah, I think from an emotional perspective, maybe me adjusting to the change and the weather has kicked in, and I do find that next week I'm hoping to be ready in action. Now, so far I have shared some points which I hope listeners have made note of. I will just recap on I've said at the beginning to create a morning ritual, getting up early before the children, maybe staying up after Fajr, and doing something for yourself, jotting down things, getting those things off your head, jotting things down and writing it down about what needs to be done either for that day or for the week, setting yourself up, or just doing a few stretches, some exercises, or actually just taking that time out to have a cup of tea or coffee and some breakfast, a meal that often mums do neglect. And the gratitude practice, being grateful, writing down of the things that we are grateful for, reminding ourselves of the good things in our lives and setting ourselves up for the day on that high. Incorporating, as I said, exercise, doing something where we are giving our body that adrenaline rush. And also as we get older, we need to sort of just stretch our bones out a bit and give our body the justice that it needs. Practice mindful breathing, taking the time out about being present in what we are doing, and breathing, resetting our tone, our attitude, and then getting engaged in the activity that we are doing. Establishing boundaries, and this could be tech boundaries, boundaries of I'm so sorry, I cannot help in that area, and set yourself the boundaries of saying no. So the next one is indulge in small luxuries. Now, this is a hard one to do. And it was only when I left my daughter at school, one of the teachers came up to me and said, this is a long time coming, and go use this time on yourself. The housework's always going to be there. You're always going to have something to do around the house, but take that time out for you, because once the kids are back at home, once the routine kicks in of home life, you're not going to have that moment where it's just you. And it really is reflected on my head. So things to pamper yourself with, like taking a long bath, actually having a shower where you're not being rushed by the kids or one of them needing your attention, or I need to get out quickly. This is no time to turn off and switch off and relax. Give yourself a facial. This could be a homemade face pack or something that you've picked up, or go for a facial, have a manicure, calming treatments that help you relax and unwind. Many of us think this is, a gimmick, and it's not something we need to be doing or wasting our time on. But actually, taking that time out to pamper yourself and actually allowing your body to relax eases those tense muscles and increases the happy hormones in our body. So it's really important that you do take that time out, and you do take that time out for yourself. Having a face pack on and just sitting back with your eyes closed and relaxing and taking in that moment, and then taking the face pack off and washing it, you will feel the difference. I don't think I've done that in a long time. And then having done it, I realized, wow, not only is it good for my skin, hopefully, but it's actually made me feel a bit better. So it's important that we do take that time out. And the next point is enjoy a solo outing. Now, this is something as adults we can do quite easily. I think in my teens, it maybe must have been something quite difficult for me to adopt. I always felt like I needed to be out with my friends or in a group. But, you know, I've soon learned as I've got older that, and especially moving from one town to another town, I've realized that actually your friends are there, but your own company, your own being comfortable in your own skin, in your own company is ultimately what's going to always be with you. You're always going to have that. And so treat yourself to a solo coffee date. Go out for a coffee shop, to the coffee shop maybe, or a trip to the library or a bookstore. Treat yourself to a book, or nature walk. Go out and, you know, observe nature. Go out for a long walk in the park. We need to be comfortable in our own skin. I admire my neighbor. She's a fantastic example of this. She is always in London at different exhibitions, and she goes all on her own. And you know, she's retired, and she's you know, out. Oh, there was an exhibition on crochet. She loves crochet, and so she just went, and she you know, she jumped on a train. She said she was there a bit early. She said she popped in, grabbed herself a lunch, sat in the park, and enjoyed having a sandwich on her own, observing the environment around her, and then going off to the exhibition and getting a few ideas, picking up a few bits, and coming home. And I really admire her for that, because she said she really enjoys doing that. So at least, you know, every 2 or 3 months she's looking out to seeing what's going on, and she's out there on her own. So, you know, I admire her for that. And I admire her more because she's taken that time out for herself and something that she enjoys, and she's going out and finding out these exhibitions, and going and, you know, doing something she enjoys. Her husband and her are both retired, but they both go off and they have that time away from each other for, you know, at least every 3 months, where they just go off and they do something that they both like, for, you know, for themselves, and then they do something together. So I do think it's really important that we enjoy the solo outings, and we take that time out to go and do something that we like, or find a hobbies, find something that we do like. Often we haven't had the time to think about what is it that we actually like, because we are so caught up in trying to work out what hobbies the kids should be engaged in, what hobbies the kids should be doing, sports and things like that. But actually how ourselves is time to find out what we like and go and engage in that. Number 7 is develop a wind down routine. So this, I think, is really important. I was talking to a couple of mums earlier this week, and we have no bedtime routine. We just literally load the dishwasher, put things away, tidy that, potter around the house, make sure everything's done, and then just crash into bed. There is no routine, and it's nice. It's quite sad, because I've always for years enforced a routine in my children. So I've always said that, you know, don't just, you know, roll off the sofa from watching television and then go up into bed. Get yourself into a routine. Go upstairs, brush your teeth, wash your face, moisturize, get into bed, read a book, allow your body to switch off, and then go to sleep. So I've instilled that with them, but when it comes to myself, I'm literally just crashing. So create that end of day calm for yourself. And that could be reading a book, enjoying some herbal tea, and avoiding the screens. You know, don't get on your phone for the last half hour before you go to bed. Research has actually shown that having no screen time for at least 30 minutes before going to bed will actually improve your sleep quality as well. So I think it's really important that we don't neglect this process when it comes to us. And, you know, we are running errands around the house. And even if we run those errands, but we just, you know, take that time out for ourselves, brush our teeth, moisturize our face, get into bed, maybe read a book or jot down some notes, journaling again, getting those things, reflect on your day, release the stress, write down all the tasks that are left to do and set intentions for tomorrow, and go to sleep with a clear head, and don't let your mind be weighed down with thoughts and things that you need to still do. Just write it down on a piece of paper and that's it. Clear your head and go to sleep. And inshallah, we should have a good sleep, a much more nourished sleep, which is what our body craves. So, give yourself that time. Which brings me to my next point about nourishment. Nourish your body. Be kind to yourself, prepare your meals, have quick, maybe, there's so much out there on social media platforms for creating quick, simple meals that are highly, high in protein, very nutritious, fibrous and everything, and prepare these simple, nutritious snacks for yourself, and have these throughout the day, so that you are eating the right things that will boost your energy and not, if you've prepared them in advance, it's not taking up too much your time during the day. Don't let yourself survive. I'm so guilty of this myself, and I am often, if the kids aren't around me, I'm not eating their leftovers, I'm just running for the quickest thing that I can possibly find from the cupboard, and that's obviously oftenly the things that have zero nutritional value, especially for us, where we are active throughout the day and we need to be having things that are nutritionally valuable to our bodies, and we are actually nourishing our body and eating something that's not just empty calories, eating well, and try and make this something that you can do in your day. Have your fibrous foods and high protein foods as well. And it will stop you from binging or craving those sugars. It will curb that sugary craving as well if we're eating well. Staying hydrated. There's so many bottles out there now where it starts at 9 o'clock in the morning, and by 2 o'clock you would have drank half a litre, and then you've got to refill until the evening, and you've drank a litre a day. So you're keeping consistent with your water. So aim for that consistent hydration. Dehydration is the cause of so many health issues, and not only that, but it can also increase stress and fatigue. So having not enough water in our body can increase the stress levels and fatigue in our bodies. So it's really important that we keep ourselves hydrated. I'm a huge fan of coconut water. Coconut water has all the things that your body needs. It's got the right levels of potassium, sodium. So it's a really good, especially post-exercise, if you are exercising, having something like coconut water after it really replenishes the body with everything that you need. And it's really good because it will prevent the body from becoming dehydrated as well. It's a good balance of the water that our body requires. And often we do find that we are eating and eating and eating, and that hunger panga is not going. And it's often because we are thirsty and we are mistaking it for hunger. So keeping hydrated and regularly drinking will keep that in our body, and it will curb our hunger because we will be quenched and hydrated and we're not feeling hungry. So our bodies are getting the right things at the right time. The next point is staying connected. So talking to friends, catch up with supportive friends, keep that going. The endorphins and hormones that are released when you catch up with good friends and sit in good company is it's so good for your body. And the benefits of it, if you are genuinely laughing and genuinely happy with these friends, you should keep in touch with them and make it maybe once a week where you are taking that time out, going out for lunch, popping out for breakfast, doing something, even having them over to your own home. but it's quite nice to talk to other mums, because you'll find that you can share your own ideas, your own concerns, hear from their experience what they can bring on board, what you can take note of, and vice versa. So I think it's really important that we stay connected with good friends, especially those that give you that happy hormone. Join a group, whether it's an online community or a local group, connecting with other mums, other working mums, because you can also offer encouragement and new ideas. It's really good because I'm part of quite a few mum groups, and I do find that lots of ideas are always being shared, lots of self-care tips are being shared, things to do with the children, activities that are going on. It's all in this group, so I can engage in and out of what I feel is relevant to my family, my life, or however. So it's nice to be part of that community. Keep in touch with family members. Now that you have more time, you can stop and with your immediate family members, really take that time out, have that telephone conversation, pop around, go see your in-laws, go see your mum, you'll check in that they don't need anything, go out, grab something from the shops for them. When you're shopping, ask them if they need anything as well. Having more time with your spouse. Now, for some of us, this might be quite a shock because, yes, obviously, our life has been all about running around the kids. And now that they are at school and there is silence in the home, it's just your spouse, because often a lot of companies where you are working from home, you have your spouse at home. And it's like, what do we do with each other? What do we talk about? So use that time, go out for breakfast or have a cooked breakfast at home. The idea is that you're just having that quality time together where it's child free, and you're having an adult conversation about things that you want to talk about, your own experiences, your own feelings. And that's that opportunity for you to just reconnect with your spouse and have that moment with them as well, where you can learn from their experiences, their knowledge, and vice versa. Number 10, find a regular hobby or activity. This is something that I've put down as my to-do list. Sign up to lessons or activities that are going around, courses that are going around. There's a lot of sewing and crochet courses around in the town as well. We have swimming, we have horse riding, loads of these things that we can engage in and try something new. Get out your comfort zone and say, right, I've not really actually, horse riding was something that I never thought would be possible, but my eldest daughter inspired me, and she said to me, Mum, let's just go. I don't think I'm still ready to do quite what she was doing on a horse, but even sitting on the horse and just moving was more than enough for me. So, get out your comfort zone. And my trip to Paris has made me realize how much more I need to come out of my comfort zone and try new things as well. Try out new recipes for the family, meals that you haven't cooked before, broaden the taste palettes for our children. I've realized now that my youngest is at school, she keeps coming back saying, it's not like your food, Mummy, it's not like your food. So I need to obviously either broaden what I cook so that when she's exposed to this outside, it's not a new dish to her. She's generally, alhamdulillah, I'm quite good. I know I do cook quite broad things. I don't have typical Pakistani dishes in my house, but I do cook different things that the children can try. But yeah, try out new recipes. Do something for the community where you are giving something back. Sign up to some voluntary work, help out in community events, help out the elderly, again, pop into neighbors that you've got nearby that could be elderly, that don't often get visitors. Just pop in, say hello, check in on them, see how they're doing. Acquiring knowledge, signing up to short courses, learn something new. I highly recommend studying fiqh classes because having done a couple of courses around fiqh in some of the aspects of Islam, has not only been beneficial to me, but also something that I can share with my children and family. So whatever I've studied, and alhamdulillah, a lot of these courses post-lockdown, we are so blessed. There are so many opportunities now where you can just do a lot of online classes. You don't actually have to physically go out and be somewhere or drive to somewhere, or, you know, you can do it from the comfort of your home. And some of these classes, again, some are free, some are at a cost, but, you know, depending on what you want to learn, what you're going to do with that knowledge, acquire knowledge that's beneficial, that's going to be useful to yourself and your family, something that you can share. I always feel that it's really important for us to acquire knowledge, but acquire knowledge that we can make others benefit from it as well. And also use this time to spiritually connect yourself as well with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have a lot of time now, you know, where we can connect. Our salahs are always often rushed because we're thinking about getting this done, getting that done, or attending to this child, attending to that child. You know, this is our moment where we can switch off and really focus on connecting with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's quite hard. It's not, you know, you just sit down and you can connect. It's reflecting, and it's making sure that we are making the most of our practice. You know, we are doing things that are going to, inshallah, grant us a place in heaven. You know, this world that we live in is very temporary. You know, we are doing things in this world to get by, but we should really be preparing for our akhirah. And, you know, are we doing everything we can to make sure, inshallah, that we are going to be accepted, our sins are going to be forgiven. So use that time to reflect. So listeners, in summary, for the points that I have shared, inshallah, hopefully there's been something that you've jotted down and thought, right, I'm going to try that one. Organize your day, have a plan. This could be made at the start of each week, and to help you maximize your time, I am going to make myself a schedule on Sunday, which I'm going to fill out, and inshallah try and see how productive my week's going to be next week, and I will keep you posted next week, inshallah. Be consistent with your routines. Make sure you go for those regular walks, you're taking that fresh air, you know, using the space that you have outside your home, going for a walk around the block, healthy balance with your spouse, not taking on everything yourself, but working as a team and getting things done together. Recently, we made a family to-do list, which was quite interesting because we got the children involved, and they have several things that they want to get done. And it was quite eye-opening because it was all around their bedrooms, and it was all about how they wanted to get their bedrooms done and have these things in their room, even though all they do is sleep in them. But they had things that they wanted to get off their chest. So we allowed them to have this opportunity to write down things that they would like to have in their rooms, things that they wanted to prepare in their rooms, or have set up in their rooms, or whatever they wanted. And we got them to jot it down, and then we put like a priority list, things that need to be done around the house. You know, this could be like dusting, vacuuming, picking up books and putting them on the bookshelf, clearing out the books, donating to charity, having a charity bag made, getting rid of clothes that you just don't need or you don't wear, things that you've outgrown, and putting it all aside. And we put this in a priority list. And as a family now, we are ticking off things off the checklist. And it's quite nice to see, actually, because it's not just me doing them. The children have come and said, yep, I've organized my clothes. I've organized one drawer today, Mum. So these are all the clothes that I do like, I do want to wear, I haven't outgrown. And these are the ones that I've outgrown, so they can move on. So it's quite nice. They're ticking those things off the checklist. Create a regular self-care for yourself, especially with that bedtime routine, you know, having yourself to go to sleep, not just crashing to sleep. Stay in touch with family and friends, make time to see people, especially those that are unwell. Sometimes, you know, your happy jolly face can be all that they need at that time as well. But it's also good to be happy in your own company, you know, find things that you enjoy. Go watch something, go to an exhibition, you know, just like my neighbour's been doing. And yes, finding that healthy balance for you is really important. And finally, incorporating all of this doesn't need to be complicated. The key is consistency. It's just making time for yourself, no matter how small that moment. So we have a lot of time during the day, but you have to make some time for yourself. So listeners, that is all I have to share with you today. And I hope all of it has been of benefit. I wanted to just quickly share a family fun day activity that's happening at the Dallo Community Centre on Saturday, 28th of September. It's between 12 p.m. and 5 p.m. It's a superheroes event. So children are asked to be dressed in their favorite superhero and can potentially win a prize for the best costume. So come dressed in their favorite hero and they can potentially win a prize for their best costume. So listeners, I hope that everything I have shared with you this morning has been of benefit. I thank you for tuning in and I hope it's been of benefit to you, because I'm hoping next week I will have a bit more of a productive week, inshallah. Friday blessings to you all. Please remember the team and myself in your du'as. Jummah Mubarak and Assalamu Alaikum.